I just want to put a name tag on you so people know who you are.
That's not me, bro.
Yeah. No, my bad. Yeah. Here we go. Now people will know who you are.
There you go. That's
You're not, super recognizable. Welcome to the first episode of Between Two Roldans. As you might guess, you were not who we thought was going to be our first guest, but I really appreciate you lending us your house anyway to do the show.
Thanks.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm Jeremiah O'Shan. This is Steve Zakuani, and this is Between Two Roldans, and we're doing this for YachtCon. We're going to be raising money for Seattle Children's Autism Center. So at least it's a good cause.
I'm here for the cause. It's a good cause, yeah.
Right. So anyway, get this out of the way right at the start. I understand you're doing a podcast?
True, yeah. It drops, it should be out by now, yeah.
That's nice for you.
Thanks. I think it'll be good, thanks.
What makes you think you're qualified to do a podcast?
Let me see. Arsenal Academy, #1 pick, 5 years for the Sounders, been in broadcasting now 3 years. I think I can talk about stuff a little bit.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. So you were on another podcast this off season. I happen to have heard it by accident.
I'm sure.
But Nate Bowling was interviewing you.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that you thought Brad Evans would maybe be better off signing elsewhere. Are you proud of yourself?
One, I never used the term better off.
Oh, okay.
I said it might be time for Brad to go, and I wish Brad the best. Nice try.
That said, you got any predictions for how Brad will do in Kansas City?
I think he'll do well. I think Brad is a pro's pro. I love playing with him as a teammate. He's a good person. If he stays fit, he'll do well.
So you mentioned that you've been an analyst now for a couple years. Mm-hmm. But if you were such a good analyst, why didn't you see the Toronto FC loss coming?
The next question. You got me there.
Okay. All right. Do you think the Sounders have done enough to close that gap?
With Toronto, yes. I didn't think it was that big of a gap as we saw. It was Toronto's best game, Seattle's worst game. It's closer, and I still think TFC might be a step ahead, but that gap on that day was bigger than what it really is.
As a player, how do you go about, how do you work that out? How do you, how do you, do you go into the locker room and are you more frustrated, or are you somehow, do you kind of just take it that it's not your day?
It's not your day. When we would lose, when I played, every first leg, 3-0 it seemed like, to the Galaxy or Salt Lake or whoever. You're like, we just didn't play well. You can't be mad when you've contributed to such a bad defeat. If you have chances to hit the post and you're unlucky, you'll be more upset. But with that, they were just better.
What are some of the things that you like that the Sounders have done this offseason?
Kept a large part of the core. I've been saying that. Lost Joven. It's a massive loss. We'll see it. But Jordan looks good this offseason, preseason so far. Clint's back. Roman, Chad Marshall, Nico, Christian, Ozzy. That's a solid core. Stephen Fry. I think if they keep all those guys fit, Latham has a full preseason, as does Victor Rodriguez. I think, the team's great. Obviously, I would love to see like a massive signing like everybody else. But I think the team was right there. And these guys coming back, if they can all have healthy season, I think we'll be good.
I looked at 2011, the off-season before 2011. And that was obviously the season the Sounders played well, not trying to bring up any bad memories. But you guys didn't have a lot of turnover that year. Do you think that ended up helping the team going into that season?
Yeah, we got better. So from 2010 to 2011, I matured a year, Freddie matured a year, Morrow had just come, and we signed up for Brian White. We didn't know what we would get from him. Yeah. But I just think sometimes what I'm seeing with Jordan and Christian, at that age, was still getting better. And I was right there. I got better. Freddie got better. It's like you had almost new signings. And Ozzy was really young back then, as was Brad. So when your core is young enough, they can still be improving. And that's what happened to us. And I hope with Jordan and Christian especially, that happens for the Sounders too.
Speaking of Jordan, you've had some. You talked about his maturation as a winger. It looks like the Sounders are going to be playing more as a forward. Do you like that decision?
I agree with it as long as Jordan has a strike partner. If it's by himself, back to goal, mainly, I don't think that's his best. I think with a strike partner, he can be in the top tier of strikers in this league. I love Jordan's game, so I hope he can find a way to have someone alongside him.
So switching gears a little bit to your broadcasting. First off, how did you get into broadcasting? It didn't necessarily. It seemed. I mean, like you seemed like you really did hit the ground running. Joking aside.
Yeah. Retired. Message Adrian. He said, call me. Called him. He says, come up to Seattle. Let's talk. What do you want to do? I'm thinking coaching. The more I looked into that, I'm like, I don't want to do coaching. So I have no idea. I'm like, I'll get back to you. Our producer, Ryan Shaver, called me randomly. Says, hey, Ross Fletcher says you might be good on the broadcast. And I'm like, okay. And I literally, 3 days later, went in for a meeting. We talked through it. I said, I'll give it a try. And within a month, I was live on TV, just as an analyst. I'd never done it before. So I'm learning on the job still now. But it kind of just happened as in this would be a good fit. Let's see. And I'm still there.
So you've had a chance to work with Casey Keller quite a bit.
Yeah. Casey
Keller, as you may understand, has a mixed emotions among fans.
Yeah.
Is he the kind of guy that when you are out at the breakfast bar, he's critiquing what you're choosing?
I hope he doesn't watch this. That's pretty accurate. That's hilarious. But I played with Casey, so I knew already what Casey's like. Just has really high standards, man. That's the way I like to look at it.
So what are we missing about Casey?
That he actually wants the team to do really well, but he goes out of his way to be objective, and even to the point of being the biggest critic when things go wrong, and the biggest praise when things go right, but things go wrong more than right in his eyes, I think.
It seems seems very fair way of putting that.
Yeah.
So, and this maybe is a related question. Well, I'll ask it this way first. Mm-hmm. How often do you find yourself either thinking this or saying this when people are talking to you, where you go, do you know who I am?
Not that often at all, man. Like, honestly, not that often at all. Like, never.
Never? Really?
No, never. I'm trying to think. Like, never. Like, for me, I'll say the only times is like if I'm like on a flight and somebody's staring at me, I'm wondering why. Like, is it because you recognize me, or like that weirds me out. If I'm in a restaurant or something with my family, and you can never know why they're looking at you.
Uh-huh.
So, but apart from that, I like to meet people. So no, I never think like, I never think that. No.
I just wasn't wondering if you were far enough removed from your starring days that people were like, who's this guy?
No.
No? Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Still get a lot of love.
All right, so this is where the other part of the question comes in. Which Sounder, past or present, probably says that the most?
Oh, I would say Oba, when he's trying to get into certain nightclubs around the world. That would be my guess. Or certain dinner reservations at crowded Italian restaurants. Do you know who I am? And we've got a few tables that way, so it hasn't worked. But yeah, Oba. I'd say Oba.
That somehow is not surprising. That's actually I should have known that.
Yeah.
So you left the Sounders in ahead of the
2014 season.
2014 season. Yeah. That's right. So you spent a year in Portland. Mm-hmm. Clearly, you had your reasons for doing that. Mm-hmm. How long before you left the Timbers did you know I'm going back to Seattle?
So I went to Portland in January 2014. By July 2014, I knew I'd be coming back to Seattle. Because I knew at that point I'm probably going to stop playing. I wasn't enjoying it, and it was like, my life won't be in Portland, it'll be in Seattle. I didn't know how I'd be received coming back, whether I need to wait a couple years. But I knew 6 months into being in Portland that I would be done that December and let me get back to Seattle.
Now, did you... I don't think you suffered any... Like, it seemed like people immediately were like, welcome back, Steve.
It was weird, because even when I played for Portland to Seattle, like, I didn't think I would get booed. I think people just not do anything, but I got cheered. And then, honestly, people forget I play for Portland. Like, no one even brings it up, and I'm okay with that, because I tried to forget too, so it's just like... People just talk about my Sounders career, and it's like I just played for Seattle, took a year off, and then came back.
So I'm guessing that you must have a favorite Merritt Paulson story.
There's a few. I mean, the day I was announced going to Portland, he tweeted a picture of me in a Portland jersey. It was a Darlington Nagby jersey, because we switched after a game. And I put it on my way to the tunnel. Someone took a picture. And a Merritt being Merritt to instigate things on Twitter, tweeted that. And I tried. I didn't retweet anything like that, but that's him being him. So that's one. And just being around him. He would be in every team meeting, post game, win, lose or draw. He'd be in there. So Merritt he cast a large shadow over the Timbers. Saw him a lot.
Was it? There must have been some things you enjoyed about Portland, though.
The people, Caleb Porter, Darlington Nagby, Pablo Moreira, Ben Zemansky, Michael Nanchoff, all these names are people that are from Akron, Ohio. So I've known them now 10, 11 years. Caleb, 12 years. So being with them every day, it was phenomenal. It was just like being back in college, except now we had families and we weren't in the dorms or whatever. But yeah, that part was good. The people in Portland, very good. And the fans embraced me well. Like, I come from Seattle, they could have been horrible, but no, they actually treat me pretty good.
Yeah, we know how Portland fans don't always accept former Sounders with open arms, do they?
No, I think they did because of my connections to somebody. They love Nagby, they love Caleb Porter, and those guys vouch for me. I think that helped ease my transition there.
So what was it like, though? I imagine playing for Caleb a second time wasn't the same as playing from the first time.
No, the honest truth, weird. Came the first time, was 18, 19 or something, and I was in college. And it was just like, that's my coach. I'm trying to go pro. Goes in one ear, out the other ear. I'm the best player in college. I'm going to go pro. Then we became great friends when I left college. Caleb was still in Akron coaching. I was in Seattle. Even when Caleb got to Portland, we would talk, we would text. We were friends. And then it's like, put the friendship aside, be my player again, do this, do that. I'm having injuries. He's under pressure. We're not winning. And it just... weird, a lot of tension, and it ruined our friendship for like 6 months. But now we're like best friends again.
Well, it's nice that you were able to recover that.
Yeah, you
would be in a good position to know this as anyone. What's Caleb up to these days?
I know he's in Europe as we speak. I know that I was down in Portland a few weeks ago, catching up with some of those guys. I know he's in Europe, and I think for him is as much a mental break as a physical break that he needs for like a year.
So what's the future hold for Steve Zakuani as a TV analyst? Are you getting, like, do you have aspirations to be on cable?
I actually don't. Like, I'm not. When I played, I was like, by my 5th year, I need to be in Europe. Like, I'm going to keep improving every day, and I need to be the best winger in this league so I can get to Europe. I don't think that's a broadcaster. I'm like driving into CenturyLink. I'm like, we have a game tonight. I'm excited. I'm going to be on the sideline. I'm going to see Clint. I'm going to see Christian. I'm going to watch these guys, and I'm going to see the fans. I do my walk right in front of the ECS. I shake people's hands. I wave to them. I do my thing on the mic, and I go home, and I don't think about it. It's only when people are like, you're good, or I listened to the game, and you were saying some good stuff, where I'm like, I wonder if I could be on a bigger platform. But I'm not actively pursuing it. If it happens, great, but I'm not like thinking about it.
And do you, would you say that you're enjoying it in ways that you didn't expect to?
I love it, man. I thought it would be hard. The first year was hard because I still felt like I was better than some of the players. And now I know I'm not, because I'm like old, haven't played in 2.5 years properly. I'm watching these kids and I'm like, yeah, I can't keep up. So now I'm more like, I'm where I should be. Whereas before, you look from the outside, you're like, if not for this injury, if my knee felt a tiny bit better, I will be better than you. I don't think that now. Now I know my place, and I'm like, I had a good run, but I enjoy it a lot because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. They're now the experts, and I'm critiquing and commenting on what they are doing. I shouldn't be out there.
Did last year's trial, for lack of a better term, help in that way?
I loved it, man. And what's funny is, Clint and Ozzy saw me the other day, and they were like, you know, you should have just kept going. I actually think I needed like 6 months, and I would have been able to actually play in MLS. I would never have been 2009 to 2011 Steve Zakuani. I would have been a notch below that, but I could have played in MLS if I'd stayed for 6 months. Training, but I didn't want to do that. And the level I was at preseason was like, train good on Monday, train okay on Tuesday, but Wednesday I need a break. And it's like, you can't do that. Are you watching yourself think, I mean, can you not get out of your own head in some ways? Like, you can't stop thinking about, well, I used to be able to do this, no problem. Is the problem. It's like, I'll see the right back, whoever it is, and in 2011, I don't even care who that is. Even when DeAndre, my friend, loved DeAndre, but he had some rough couple months with us because he was on the second team, and he was going against me every day. And he told me that's made him better. So, I had a time in my career, no matter who I was playing, I knew I'd beat them 9 times out of 10. Like, I didn't even think about it. It's like, all right, I'm going to do a step over. I'm going to double step over. I'm going to go right. I knew. Now it was like I was thinking that, and then I would try it, but they were reading me. And they were keeping up. And I'm like, yeah, this doesn't feel right. And my ego is still strong enough to where if I'm going to play, I need to be one of the best. I can't play and be a squad guy. So that's why I kind of backed away.
Do you find yourself... You play still, like, recreational?
I play at a level where I know I'm the best. And I can feel like my old self. I play co-ed indoor. We've won a championship.
Just light people up?
3 out of 4 seasons. I love it. That's what I'm doing. I'm serious.
That's great. Like, you dominate co-rec.
I can't do like a men's league where everyone's taking it super serious. I can't do that. So I play that, honestly, for fun with my friends. And I'm like clearly the best. So I don't try unless we're losing.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have this theory that Wade Weber is like, it might be the only player in MLS to have played co-rec before he was in MLS. Do you think that's an accurate statement?
That's amazing, yes. I love Wade, but I can see that, yeah.
Like, he was telling me he was, like, retired. He was basically retired. He was playing co-rec with his wife.
I love Wade. I can see that, yeah. Wade's actually really good. And Wade was a good player, too.
Do you find yourself... There's a lot of former Sounders working in the broadcast world of the Sounders.
Yeah.
Do you find that there's a camaraderie among you guys?
I think the Sounders broadcast team is incredible. Casey Keller, Marcus Hanneman, Zach Scott's done stuff, I'm doing stuff. To have that many former players, Taylor Graham's been on there. That many former players with such a pedigree in the community, and some of those guys around the world, World Cups and things, to be on local broadcast is incredible. And it's great for us when we travel and we talk and we have debates and we see things on the pitch and we disagree, because Casey sees things in a very different way to me at times, and we'll have disagreements. And I think it's amazing, just the caliber of people on the local. If we had like a 5-a-side tournament among all the broadcasts in MLS, like, we're not losing. So we're not losing.
How do we make that happen? How do we get a 5-a-side
really good idea.
Broadcast team versus broadcast?
We need to figure out a way to do that, like pre-game or something, or like the day before. But yeah, we wouldn't lose. We're too good.
Fair enough. So you have one of the things that you have become known for is your charitable foundation. How is Kingdom Hope going?
It's good, man. I actually started in 2010, but I think you helped me build, you can't see him, but help me build my first website. So it's like, I always wanted to do, I think now it's just, I know what I'm doing. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to do scholarships, we're going to help people. The platform's bigger. We figured out a way to draw attention with a charity game. It's a fun thing. We're bringing all these, like, Jimmy Conrad, Eddie Johnson, Gucci Onyeru, Landon Donovan, Marshall Lynch, Ultra Cinco, a mix of people who shouldn't be together in Tukwila is amazing. And it's going to this good cause. I think it's helped me just have that game, but it's doing great, man. We're giving out scholarships left, right, and center, in soccer, in education, and the only challenge now is just always trying to come up with creative ideas for our game, which is fun.
Who's the player that you have, or who are the players maybe that you seriously were kind of pinching yourself, like, how is this person here?
It should be Landon, but it's not because I've known Landon for a long time. We've shared the same agent since I left college. I just saw Landon last month, the day after he was unveiled in Mexico. So that's a good friend of mine. So not him. Marshall Lynch. Like, I knew he was coming, but I didn't know. And then even the day of, it was like his mom sent me a message. And then she was like, I'm going to make sure he gets on the plane and comes. But that was like when I knew, okay, he'll be here for sure. But I saw him 2 weeks ago. We were talking about it, and he loved the memory too. So him actually, because he doesn't go to things, him actually being there was, that I still can't believe it.
Yeah, that definitely, I was going to say that to me, if I was going to pick someone, it would have to be him, just because this is not a guy who is out doing press.
Nope, hates it. But again, he's the kind of guy, good cause, he will show his face.
Well, Steve, you've been a really good sport. I really appreciate you doing this. And thanks a lot.
Thank you, man. We're off to a rocky start, but that was good.
Good.
Thank you, bro.
Well,